Woodberry for me was, I think, very transformational. Primarily, I met all kinds of new people from all over the country, not just from the rural area where I grew up. So I think that was enormous, and a lot of these individuals have really become friends for life. When I started at Woodberry, I was, I think, a pretty mediocre student. It was difficult. The level of schoolwork and commitment required, took some getting used to from what I had been accustomed to. But, by the end, I was doing it very well. I had a very high GPA at the end. Actually, I won at graduation. I won the math prize and the physics prize. I think I got a few C's when I started. So, I definitely found my path academically when I was at Woodberry and built up a lot of confidence, which I think is one of the most important things the school does for boys. I wasn't much of an athlete when I went to Woodberry. I probably wasn't much of an athlete while I was there, but I did have some successes, and it gave me a lot of confidence. Perhaps most important is what Woodberry gives its students, away from academics and athletics. The honor system. It teaches the importance, clearly, of integrity, but also of tolerance and treating others with respect. And I think it really makes you realize how important it is to conduct yourself as a gentleman. I had some great, lifelong friends that I made at Woodberry. Lampton Enox was my roommate, I think, at least the last 2 years at Woodberry, and by the way, the first year at UVA. And I remember, and we remained close. I remember visiting, his family in Mississippi in the summers, and having wonderful visits there. And by the way, he went on, very proud of him, he went on and founded Moonbot Studios, which recently produced a animated short feature which won an Academy Award. So he's done extremely well. And by the way, we are together running the Marine Corps Marathon in October. So here's a boy who I knew, was one of my best friends at Woodberry, and we're still, doing things together, experiencing things together. Woodberry became a bit of a family affair for us because my brother Joe also attended Woodberry Forest. He was 2 years behind me. And my recollection was that I really wanted to go to Woodberry, and so I went, and it all worked out well, but my brother did not. He wanted to stay at home. So the deal my parents cut with him is they made him go for 1 year. So they said, you have to go for 1 year, and then you can decide whether you want to go back or not. Of course, he elected to stay. So, but that was also an important memory for me at Woodberry, was being there with my brother, and that was an important part of the experience for me. Well, as I mentioned earlier, I do credit Woodberry as I think about my grooming and how I grew up and the things that I learned. I think I got an incredible base from Woodberry. I think it helped me build a lot of confidence, which is really important, I think, for a 14 to 18-year-old boy, to build confidence in their abilities to study and to socialize and be a leader and conduct yourself with integrity. And I think Woodberry provides a wonderful base for all of that. And just speaking personally, I couldn't have gone to Woodberry without financial aid. That was certainly an important part of my ability to go to the school. And I was always deeply grateful to Woodberry for providing me that financial aid and allowing me to attend the school. In terms of how I think about, how I want to give back, and my family gives back, supporting, financial aid at Woodberry to me and to my family is very important, because one, it helped me a tremendous amount, and the costs of the school have grown, as they have in all academic institutions, have just grown, well above inflation. It's gotten to be very expensive. I mean, it's a wonderful experience. I'm sure it's even better today than it was when I joined. Certainly the facilities have expanded, and the offerings of the school have expanded, but it comes at great expense. And so I think having a broader set of individuals and students able to receive financial aid is very important. And I think the numbers bear that out. I mean, the percentage of Woodberry students, not just the amounts, but the percentages of boys at Woodberry that are receiving financial aid are increasing, and it's understandable, given that the cost of education is way out ahead of income growth. So we're delighted to support the school and support the financial aid program so others can have the same opportunity. You know, I talked about some of the grounding that I think it gives to boys in terms of not only the academic excellence and the opportunities on the athletic field or in the arts and the social opportunities, but I think just building, you know, well-rounded, highly ethical, highly tolerant gentlemen, you know, is important, you know, in this increasingly complex and fast-moving world that we live in. And you know, I know there are lots of benefits, you know, for single-sex education. You know, I mean, just speaking personally, I'm not sure I didn't pick Woodberry because it was all boys. You know, I picked Woodberry because it was Woodberry. And you know, and I think Woodberry holds an important place in that and continues to do an outstanding job for the boys that it grooms. And you know, and that's why I personally have, you know, supported the school with my time and with my resources, because you know, I believe strongly in the institution. I'm deeply appreciative of what it did for me and want to see the school continue to thrive.